Hey everybody, I'm Steve Owens, your tournament director with the Newport Bassmaster Kayak Series presented by Native Watercraft. This is the first event of our 2026 season. We're welcome to Kissimmee, Florida on the Kissimmee Chain of Lakes by Experience Kissimmee. We've used our headquarters here for the second year at the BEV Event Center, the BEV. We appreciate everything that they do to give us a good indoor space. Parking here was really challenging, but we had 242 people wheel in and out here, which is amazing. This is our second highest attended event ever. I appreciate you guys for the support and everything you've done here. A couple of new announcements for this year. You obviously see we're bringing back Newport as our title sponsor and Native Watercraft as our presenting sponsor. We have a new Angler of the Year supporter in Pro Guide lithium batteries, and we're Tackle Warehouse has also came in as a brand partner. As you see, if you haven't gotten it before you leave, don't forget there's some swag back there at the back. Take you a couple of hats, stickers, whole 9 yards. So we'll have some more of that as the year rolls out from our other sponsors, hopefully. So, and your Tackle Warehouse deal is going to be at a certain period that we'll notify you via email. So make certain that you check all of your Bassmaster and your Tourney X emails and make sure they align and that they're the same. You will provide us a receipt from a Tackle Warehouse order, and every tournament, someone will win a $250 Tackle Warehouse gift card. So pretty cool deal there. We got a few other incentive things going on. This year, we're issuing, on top of the $500 event Big Bass, we're going to do an hourly Big Bass as well for the entire 2 days, 16 hours. So it'll be $100 an hour. And the criteria for that is based off of your time captured on your phone. So it's not a race to get it uploaded. We want you to fish and not have to concentrate on anything like that. So whatever time is stamped on you capturing your image is how you will be awarded that $100 an hour. So it's just a way to spread, as these fields get larger. I'm still a firm believer that 10% of the field is what should be paid. That way you're taking home a good sizable check. And we try to spread it out all the way down through there as much as we can. We're going to continue this year. Last place in the money will get $250 plus, or their entry fee back plus $500 on top of that for $750. Seemed like last year a lot of people thought that was pretty fair, so we'll continue to stick with that. And but this is a way to spread it on out some more. And if you're, like some people, you have a rough tournament go here and there, you can still hopefully take home $100. Keep you engaged. Every cast can count, kind of thing, and a good mentality. And it gives us a chance to hype you all and an accomplishment that you make. That PB may not be the biggest event bass of the event, but it's going to be your most memorable PB. And if it's one of those $100 an hour ones, then we'll help you be able to celebrate that yourself. So a few other contingency programs by some entities in the fishing world. One in particular is Sniper Marine. So with Sniper Marine, they make a forward-facing sonar pole and some accessories. And what they're going to do, if you meet their criteria that you can find on their website, and in this event, you can win an extra $250. You'll get an email with that. And the next opportunity is I know everyone knows and loves Bill Dance. I live in Tennessee, and I get to work with the Bill Dance Signature Lakes and the Giant Bass Open Series ran by Shane Frazier. And Shane has an online series. It's over on Fish Chaos, but it's a monthly online tournament, and it's from either a boat, kayak, or bank. You pick either length or weight, and you got to stick with that. And so if you're in this event and you win the Big Bass and you're entered into that online series, you'll get an extra $250 as well from them. So a little bit of footwork to do that kind of stuff, but there's an easy way for you to take home some extra money and then help them also spread the word about kayak fishing. If you're ever in Tennessee, that Giant Bass Open Series is an hourly Big Bass. It is what it is. You go and catch a bass, throw it in a live well, and pick your time to go submit it, and you win a lot of money. They pay a lot of money. They're sponsored by Bass Pro Shop. They give away a boat every tournament. This online tournament, depending on the numbers, what you're fishing into is a championship with no entry fee. I know that's a hot topic these days, but it's a lot of money. And you have the opportunity to win a Ford truck and a boat in this competition. So we just got to participate to get those numbers up there. So A couple of things going forward. Brad Case is back with us on the road again all year. We really appreciate what Brad does. Takes a lot of stress off of me. Jesse Clark's with us, and hopefully Sassy Dan can make a few with us this year. But our judges are back. We're adding one, so hopefully, as the tournament series grow in numbers and fish catches, we can get your submissions done in a good, timely manner. So we're really grateful for those judges. But again, if you need something in a tournament, I'm your point of contact. We'll go over just some communication stuff in just a little while. But then we've got Fishermen's Fellowship back on the road with us, and it's a really good thing to have, regardless of what your beliefs are. You just know that there's a group of people up here that are willing to talk to you and talk you through anything that you might have to deal with in life. So we're out here on the road. We are a kayak community, and we like to brag on how close we are and everything, and we truly are. So just, we're here together. We'll make it together. So if you got anything physical, mental, mechanical, give us a shout, and we will make sure that we get you helped out and everything. So just going to take a quick moment to pray. If you're not a prayerful person, if you don't mind, just have a moment of silence. Father, we thank you for our day. We thank you for being able to be here in the state of Florida. We thank you for our leadership, and we pray for all of our leadership across the country and the world, God, that you minister to our hearts and help us support one another and seek you. And just bless all of our friends and family back home. We thank you for the men and women in our country's service across seas and at home, and those who served in the past. We ask that you minister to our bodies and give us healing. Be with our safety during this event. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen. All right, so I kind of touched on the community. Your stewardship here has been great. Every tournament we have mishaps and miscalculations and breakdowns and stuff, and I get communicated with a lot, and you all have helped people with mechanical failures, equipment needed, and everything. So that's really good to see. Accountability is another thing. So like when we're in an event and in a tournament and you see someone that's doing something that's not necessarily where it needs to be, they may not be doing something intentional or cheating or anything. So just have a conversation with them and maybe help clarify a few things if they need it. Have them reach out to me with any questions, because I don't want you all to have to try to remember. I want you to read the rules, but I don't want you to have to memorize them. So always contact me so that you don't misquote or misunderstand. Let me be the one to tell them the information that they need. Again, everything gets emailed to you, and we send you the push notification. So we need you to really take care and make sure you read those emails and everything. Compassion, we have a great load of it for all of our men and women that fish the series, and above all else is our safety. So it's going to be a little windy out there, as you all have witnessed this week and experienced. So be mindful, number one, of your kayak's limitations. Secondly, your own limitations. There's areas sometimes and situations where you should just call it in and go to the bank for a minute. Just go somewhere and reset. Don't sit out there and put yourself in a position. Be mindful of each other. If you're not traveling with somebody, reach out to me and let me know where you're launching and when you're back, if you're concerned about anything like that, so that we can make sure we're utilizing our network. If you're in a safety situation, take care of yourself first, take care of that angler first. But I have to be in contact with you all once that is initiated. I need to know if you're towing someone to safety and things like that, because once those things happen, there's a pause in fishing for some people, and then sometimes that's the end of your day based off of the situation. So, and that's my call, and y'all need, I really, really need to stress that. Don't, make certain that you're not carrying over our fun fishing mentality in this tournament this weekend and weekends going forward. I really need you to contact me before, other than safety, if you're trying to save somebody's life or whatever. But if you have a question of, yeah, we could probably do that, don't do it. Call me. Let's get that sorted out so that I'm not getting a call from John Doe saying, Bobby did this or that, and, that way we've got it. And so let's take all the gray out of everything that we can. And so, again, we mentioned wind, and wind, is something you can never control or predict. So again, be mindful and very safe of that. And I keep wanting to carry on more about that, but I really can't, because I've said all that could be said. But it's really important. We've had some unfortunate incidences in the kayak community over the last several years, and we want those to be the last ones that we know about, to be honest. So right now, I'd like to bring up our 2025 Angler of the Year, Abby Avendanza. So we got Abby's trophy. He edged out Jake Anglis in a tiebreaker just a little bit. So congratulations to Jake on his season last year as well. But we gave Abby his check, but we've got your trophy here, and I just want you to just give a recap of your season or just do whatever you want to do for just a quick minute. And we're going to give this to him on stage in Knoxville at the Bassmaster Classic, though. But I'm going to go ahead and hold it for a little bit. Or
I wasn't prepared for this.
Yeah. So
as you can see,
yeah.
A lot of great anglers in this field, in this community, and that was a tough season. Jake Anglis was right there with me, and I actually congratulated him for winning it. I thought he won it, and then Steve announced it. But great sponsors. I love this community, and I love the people here. So thank you so much. I'm going to keep it short and save it for Knoxville.
Appreciate it, man. Appreciate it. Okay. Wasn't my fault. My name's Bennett and I ain't in it. That's my two best sayings. So, all righty. All right, so yeah, we appreciate everybody. As I mentioned, we've got 242 people. Our second largest event ever. Lake Murray had 258. Hopefully we don't have the wind on tournament day like we had at Lake Murray tomorrow for y'all, and the fishing gets better. 35 states were represented. That's the record for us for states represented in a tournament. And we also had most states represented in an event, with Florida at 49 this year. So that's a record too. So congratulations to all of y'all. Don't forget to see the guys in the back if you hadn't already. There's a double dip opportunity. It's a Florida Bass Nation recruiting event. You don't have to be a Bass Nation member to fish it, but you do need to sign their waiver so that they're covered legally for you to fish. And they'll fill you in on all the other details there. So they're going to check in tomorrow for their awards at, what's the name of it again? Yeah, Big Toho Marina. And so come on over there. We were over there yesterday. They got some good food and stuff. So y'all come on out and support these guys. And we appreciate what Florida Bass Nation has done. Social media marketing is just off the charts, and I share it with everybody that I can. And so across the country, we've got more Bass Nation growing. I know New Mexico is revamping. We've got West Virginia coming back. Merlin and them started Indiana. Alabama's picked back up with Lance and them. Tennessee and Georgia continue to grow. Ohio is working through again. South Carolina's got new leadership that's excited to move some things on. And Michigan just reached out. Maine is here represented, discussing some things. In New Hampshire, it's just, I could just keep going. I'm going through a map in my brain. I'm excited about what you all are doing. And so I appreciate you all reaching out to me to help get those things set up for you. So, and this week, we've got angler from Quebec here. We've got, again, Puerto Rico represented, I mentioned. We've got an Alaska person here. I don't know if they drove from Alaska, if they're from Alaska. So we appreciate all the miles that you all put on. So this weekend, the cash pool is pretty much almost 50 grand. And as I mentioned, we're going to split some of that up to get down into the hourly big bass thing. And what you're also going to get from your event, as you all know, the top 5 per event get to qualify for our championship that's going to be in October this year. And that lake is very close to being nailed down. I know I say that a lot too, but we've got the college anglers fishing 3 events with us again this year. If you're unfamiliar with that, they are fishing the actual event just like you. So they're not competing for your fish. They're literally competing on the same water for the same exact thing. And we have a separate leaderboard there where we extract their leader and their champion. 1 per event gets to make it to the championship as well. So, and after the top 5 from each event, we will get into the Pro Guide Batteries Angler of the Year pool. And the top 50 of that will make it into the championship in October. Moving to October, it was hard to do because we love the Classic. We love being part of the Bassmaster Classic, but it's the elite event of the elite. And it's really hard to have coverage for that by design. We know that. And so with moving to October, we'll be able to have the media truck, the stage. There's a lot of things we'll be able to do for the sport of kayaking and you all. You'll be able to be visual to the whole country and the whole world even. As we mentioned, Mexico Bass Nation's growing tremendously down there. There's a lot of interest in what we do. And then we'll go to a 3-day format. So you'll fish Wednesday, Thursday, full field, and we'll cut the field in half on Friday and let you go, swing for it there. We're going to work that into an expo type deal. And another part of the moving is the Bassmaster Classic presentation is being shortened quite a bit, several hours for the television time to not run so long. And when that happens, the stage time gets cut way, way short too. So we were allotted about 20 minutes because those things are budgeted financially. So now this year we're shrunk way down. We'll still call the top 10 up most likely, and I'll award you your deal. But the champion will be speaking, as at length a little bit, and then it'll be a lot more speediest. But what we're going to do on Saturday at the expo, there's the big stage in the center where they have the cast and all the legends come up and the pros get up and talk and stuff. So Guillermo Gonzalez and I, with the Scope, our Bassmaster Kayak podcast, we get 1 hour on that stage in front of the entire expo, where we'll bring up the top 10 from the event that are still there on Saturday at the Bassmaster Classic. And we'll let you get up there and talk about your weekend. We'll discuss fishing and stuff, and we'll bring up other people as we go on. And we should have that every year. So although we won't be, fishing our championship with the Classic, the winner from October will be welcome in March at the Bassmaster Classic to come up on that stage at the expo. And we want the kayakers to come to the expo because people buzz about it. Outside of here, I have another job where I work with a lot of manufacturers and retailers, and they all are just blown away by the kayak present at the Bassmaster Classic every year. So it hurts my heart to take us out of that at our championship every year, but still try to show up if you're in the area or the region, or even just travel to it, because that's where you make your difference in your career, is those one-on-one in-person people meetings at the Classic. That'll help you as much as your presence online, which a lot of you do a great job with. So feel free going forward, and I'll try to get to them when I can. The Bassmaster Facebook page is a private page I use for information. It's not a chat group, so to speak, but start throwing your YouTube videos in, or your catches from the year, and I'll try to get some of those up into the Facebook page. We'll do more of that this year. I haven't in the past because I didn't want what I was communicating to you all to get rolled down and lost in the shuffle. So what I may do is just let some of them stockpile in there and then approve them. So please start throwing those in there if you want. I really appreciate that. And so for the rest of you at home that may be watching this, and all of you can share it with your friends and family, you can follow the action on Bassmaster.com. You're going to look at the top of the leaderboard. On the top of the page, you'll see Bass Track. So like right now, the Elite Fishing Gunnersville, right underneath that, you'll see our leaderboard link. That'll take you over to Tourney X, and you can follow along there. So, appreciate everything you guys do. Hope that guy's head don't fall backwards. I see his eyes closed. I see you. And so we'll wrap it up, and we'll get down to the black and white here in the rules. So again, download them, read them, print them, put them in your kayak, everything. But always call and reach out and ask me if you have a question. So getting into the rules, anglers must use the launches that are on the official launch list that is on the Tourney X event page, as well as the Bassmaster Kayak resource page. Your event boundaries, these waters are different than what we fished last year. These waters are Lake Kissimmee, Lake Cypress, Lake Hatchinetta, Tiger Lake, and Lake Toho. You must, again, use that launch list. You are allowed to navigate to connected waters so long as you do not exit your kayak. You can't portage, you can't lock through the dams, and you can't use the elevators that are located in certain areas that lift you over into secluded waters in some of these subdivisions. So you're not allowed to cut, hack, go through things to, I know, Sherman spanked everybody on Marion and all that, and that's not in bounds this year, but you can reach a canal, but it's not navigable. So you can't get out your chainsaw and hatch it in the whole 9 yards. You don't get to do that. So we're one motor per kayak series again this year. No spare motors allowed on your kayak at all. You can carry some spare parts. You're allowed to return to your vehicle if you decide you want to swap motors. Take one off and put a different one on. You're allowed to do that. Florida fishing license has already been checked by everyone. This is amazing. We had 242 people come through, and everyone had their license. We really appreciate that. You must be back at the ramp 1 hour after line's out. So as I read through your times later, remember when your line's out of 2:45 happens, you've got an hour to upload your fish and then an hour to return back to the launch area. If you're late getting back like that, then it's a 1 inch per minute penalty up to 15 minutes. And then after 15 minutes, your day one fish are disqualified, or day two fish are disqualified. You're allowed to continue to fish for big bass if your fish get disqualified on the next day, but everything that you catch for that day that you're late coming back will be excluded. So your PFD must be worn at all times. And again, remember, during practice, all official rules must be adhered to. If your PFD, if you're wearing a jacket, it needs to be over your clothing. But if you need to take on and off clothing, you're welcome to take your PFD off, do your change real quick and put it back on. Be mindful, make sure you set it somewhere where you'll remember to put it back on, because it's actually happened to me before where I got a little hot, stuffy, and I forgot to put it back on and fished about 5 hours without it. So, and what gave myself away was I went to take a selfie. I caught a good fish and I was like, well, so happens to all of us, but be mindful of one another too. So like if you see somebody without something, it's not a take a picture and get it to me to get them DQ'd. Go over and just say, hey man, because not every offense is a disqualification. There's teaching moments, and then there's moments that, we can issue small penalties and your tournament's not over. So make certain to reach out to me or that kind of stuff. But again, it goes back to compassion and camaraderie, help each other out. So motorized kayaks must have Coast Guard approved navigation lights when launching before daylight, which you will be here. If you don't have that lighting, you still need a white 360 light to at least get all on the water, man-powered wise. Leave your motor stowed if you don't have navigation lights, and then once it's daylight, then you'll be able to use your motor after that if you don't have the red and green lights is what I'm getting at. So, but watch out for each other there. A lot of and I don't set times anymore way out and early. It's always going to be the week of the tournament so that I can lay eyes on the area. Using the sliding scale on Google and stuff puts us in situations that I would rather, I contact a lot of you and see what you think about the situations and the lighting. And so I do that for a reason. It's just quite frankly, the reason we're here, and I record a video and email it to everyone, and 220 anglers, 30 people will watch it. So the information's not getting to you guys. I mean, they're not scolding you, but kind of, I need you to do that for me. So it helps me do my job. Because if you get in a situation where you get hurt or I have to, penalize you for something or whatever, then it could have been avoidable, because I don't like any of that. And so, pay attention to those things for me, please. There's quite a few anglers in the past couple of years that blast off and take off and don't have their navigation lights, and you can't see well enough to get a picture to see who they are. And so I've made it to where we don't get as much lead time on the boats anymore, because I can't afford for one of you to get hurt or ran over. Again, I mentioned you've got to use the Google Maps launch list. You are allowed to take out and relaunch on any of those approved launches. You don't have to use one ramp for the whole day. You can take out and go to another body of water. I know some of them are connected via dams, but you still can't access the lock. You have to take out, go around, and re-enter from somewhere else. You'll need to check your stringer throughout the day on TourneyX. And if you're unfamiliar with that, go to your TourneyX app and look at Manage Catch. And from Manage Catch, you'll see your fish if they've been accepted or scored yet. And if you've submitted a 20-inch fish and you see that it's scored at a 19.5, and you see that you got a cracked mouth penalty, now you'll know, hey, I need to submit a better picture. So then you'll delete that fish in your app and then upload the good picture of the 20-incher. So, and also what that does too is it allows you to be on your toes and make sure that you've got the right 5 fish submitted, because you may have a 19-incher in your stringer that you didn't submit. And so now you've got a 12 sitting there and you just lost 7 inches. So it's important to do that. That's angler responsibility there. This is an event, as always, is a 5 fish limit with a 12-inch minimum length. We went through our board check. We allow catch board. That's the makers of our wonderful trophies here. We allow the Bubba Brand board and the Yak Attack leaderboard. Those are only 3 that you can use. Make sure that those boards are clean as you can get them. Don't mess with the stickers or anything like that. If you lose any stickers that are ever on it, reach out to me immediately, because we can still let you use that board. I'm just going to need to see it at the end of each day to make certain that it's the same board that's in your pictures and hadn't been doctored. So that's happened a few times, not very many. Make sure your images are original. So we don't need you to crop them, rotate them, shade them, or do anything. You know, your gyro on your phone, there's no telling how when you submit it, if it's up, down, sideways, we'll take care of that. Because when you do that, there's things on the back end there that looks like you've manipulated that picture, and that fish could actually be disqualified. And it'll be unintentional, but it'll still be disqualified. So don't edit them at all. We'll take care of it. Do a good job taking your photograph. You know, we have our lanyards that hold our phones on, and a lot of times we try to do this, and it's at an angle where you can't see the mouth well, you can't see the eyeball. It's hard to see all of it, and so make sure you're getting a good overhead. A lot of phones have voice activation cameras. We're not requiring it, but I do suggest that you kind of play around and start capturing your images with your TourneyX app. The one good thing about doing that is it actually creates a folder for each of your catches for that day. We're not making you do it, but I would suggest, especially your good fish, your big fish, after you've gotten your photographs, do a short recording of you with that fish on the board, picking it up and letting it swim away. Because we've had people doctor photos and cheat and crop, and so I believe KAS is going to do it this year. KBF's been doing it for a long time, and it's working really well, but I'm just not ready to make that a mandatory part of your day. But I would go ahead and do it just for safety, for your own reason, in case someone accuses you of having a fish infraction. You're covered ahead of time. Your day one identifier card that you've gotten with our champion Wyatt Hammond on it. Give Wyatt Hammond a big round of applause for his domination. Seems like if anybody needs gas money, he's got it all to borrow. He's won a lot more than our championship last year. So congratulations to Wyatt, and we appreciate what he does in the community. He's got a really, really good podcast with Wendell Fishing. So y'all tune in and check that out. So if you lose that identifier card, reach out to me immediately so that you can go ahead and write your number on something else. If you lose any of these cards at any point in time, day one and day two, your identifier can be written on your hand or something else. We need you to use the cards above all else, but if you lose them, it's not the end of your day. And then at the end of day one at about 6 o'clock on your TourneyX app, day two's identifier code will be revealed. It'll be 3 characters, and you can write that on anything again. On your fish, again, as I mentioned, I'm stressing it over and over, clean your camera, do all that, because other than you, that's the most important thing in this tournament is the picture of that fish. So its mouth has to be closed, facing oriented left towards the bump board. Get it up there as good as you can without harming the fish. You can have your hand on it. There's a scale picture on our rules. That's a suggestion. I've included pictures also of ways that you can submit a fish. That's not the only way, but there's just some that I suggest. Don't put your hand under the gill plate. You can't cover the eyeball. We need to be able to see the eyeball above all else. If you've got a dead eye or a bad eye, again, do that video I mentioned. Send it to me in an email or text it to me. Or above all else, call me and say that you have the video because we may not score your fish until we get it. The tip of the tail, as again, you can piece the tail in our tournament series to get your maximum length of your catch, but I need to see the very end of that tail lobe. So a good practice is to get it in position and to just hold it by the belly. I mean, it's easy enough, but something we're introducing we talked it over with, our angler panel, we all talk and discuss things, but I believe KAS implemented it first, but these fish that are borderline, squeaky, cracked and things like that, where it may be the fish, our judges are now going to be able to use their judgment, and we'll just do a 1/4 inch penalty in situations like that. Full-fledged crack will be a 1/2 as well. No attempt to close could be a 1 inch up to a disqualified fish. So I think that'll be a pretty cool thing. Looking over last year, see where, there's fish out there that are like that. So now we don't want that to be such a penalty to you all because it's not your fault. Not everybody's as pretty and perfect as some of us. So these fish need a break too. And so, again, make certain that your picture is overhead in a good angle. And then after your day one is over, which you obviously know your practice is over, so you can't get back on the water at all until tomorrow when it's time to get ready to launch. You are allowed to get in the water, get your stuff ready, and just hang out in close proximity to the ramp where you're not blocking boat traffic or any other anglers. And then once you're off the water on day one, you can't get back on the water until day two. Then once day 2's over, again, you have to be back at the ramp. Once you've made it back to the ramp, touched home base. If you're not in the winnings, then you can go back out and fish, but you got to make it back to the ramp at the end of competition each day. We still got a no communication over cell phone or electronic device during official competition. And just to elaborate on that, a lot of our other series, we do talk on our phone all day. And a lot of times we're not talking about how to catch fish. We're just talking, it's just, I hate to sound any kind of way, but sometimes you're just sitting out there and you just get bored. And so you call your buddy. Well, we can't do that here. You all do a good job of that. If you're around someone, you see they're in distress. If you're with someone, you need to check on them, say, hey, John, how are you? Okay, talk to you later. Hang up. If you have any repairs that need to be done on your kayak during competition, again, I'm the first person for you to call to let me know you're reaching out to, a dealer or someone that that can bring you parts or something like that. Notify me first in every situation before you try to communicate with someone. Other than family calls coming in, you need to handle those. People have work calls that come in. We know that too. Competitors can talk to one another about any and everything to do with this competition during practice and competition. You just can't do it over your phones during competition. You can talk about whatever you want on the water. You can't come up and, ask people how they're doing things, but you can share what you're doing all you want. You are allowed to borrow baits from one another, stuff like that. I mean, that's in all the boat series there. So that's where your communication goes. But just make certain that, you're not on the phone and give anyone reason to think that you're doing something you shouldn't be. So the last thing we'll go over here before we close out is your actual times. And I said, I'm going to set those close to the event time. So they're set now. So day 1 competition, Saturday, you're going to launch at 6:15 a.m. and all times are Eastern. So make sure that you check your phones because they'll betray you. Your fish finders will too. Check your fish finders and your phone. You're going to launch at 6:15 a.m. Lines in is at 6:45 a.m. Lines out is at 2:45 p.m. You have 1 hour to upload your fish till 3:45 p.m. You got to be back at the ramp area at 3:45 p.m. as well. On day 2, the times are the same. 6:15 launch time. Lines in at 6:45. Lines out at 2:45. Fish submission deadline is 3:45. Back at the ramp deadline is 3:45. And we would like for you to be back here at 5:30 p.m. for awards. Obviously, the earlier you can get here, the better. But with us having that 3:45 deadline, that takes us a little while to make sure we got things vetted. You'll get a text from me to let you know that you're in the money to please come to awards. So we do our best to wait on all of you to get here. And obviously we know Kissimmee is hard to navigate, when you're driving. So we'll respect your time and get you here hopefully as quick as we can. And we'll get awards going so that everybody can get back on the road. Again, as I mentioned over and over and over, we're growing in size. I can't believe we had 242 people here. It's a blessing. This was at 4 years in a row. We hit 200 in a season opener. I'm the world's worst judge at how many people are going to be in the event. I stress over it just because I just enjoy what we get to do. So I was way off as usual. So I appreciate you guys putting up with me and my extraness there. So, but above all else, reach out to me with your questions and let me answer those for you. Check your stringers throughout the day. Check on one another. Safety. Again, make suggestions and question one another if you see something where somebody could have some help. And so far, we hope your experience at Kissimmee has been good. Kissimmee chain can show out. It can turn, Florida weather. So we expect you all to have a good tournament day, Saturday and Sunday. And we look forward to seeing you all back here. And above all else, again, be safe. God bless you. And reach out if you got anything. And so y'all be safe getting out of here. Thank you. Hold on just a second, guys. What's up, Brad?
Gated entry.
Yeah.
Did you cover that?
Tell me what you said.
Like state parks don't open their gates like
yeah, hey guys, and there's some launches that don't open until 8 o'clock. You have to wait till those are open at 8 o'clock. So if you're camping somewhere, you can't go use that ramp before 8 o'clock because no one else can. So make sure you watch out for that. Thank you. Appreciate you. Thank you.
We have to check in and check out.
Just a second.
What matters to you? Commitment? Dedication? Precision? Connection? Catching fish? Good. That matters to us too.